Exactly 21 minutes now after 9 a.m. Time for us to get into our moments in current affairs. Why do we do that? Well, one of our pillars on the four that we do have are motivation, entertainment, spirituality, and of course, current affairs. That's how we are able to do radio according to you. It is, it's tough times in Zanzi lately. Hey, like it's tough times. It's sad times. It's confusing times.
I see like a lot's gone on in like very short space of time this past 2 months. Like, we were talking earlier with the floods in KZN.
Yeah.
And just a few days ago, we were talking about the Oscar Mabuyana verse Matiza.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about.
No, look.
There's something every day.
Ziabuya, basically. The family of Hillary Gardi, murder accused Sipho Mkachwa, has expressed shock at his link to the gruesome killing. Mkachwa's family is like, ooh, Puti, Jani. Mkachwa's family says the accused has a history of violent terrorizing family members at their Drikopi's home. The family says Sipho has previously been served with a protection order by his own adopted family. Who does that?
Jeez. So he abusive, Chef. We already know that about Sipho. His family says so.
His family is literally saying, "Nah, I know.
This guy he does these things. He wouldn't be surprised if it was true that he did it.
I'd be shocked too, because I know his adopted dad is a father Smangaliso Mkachwa. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yes.
Former mayor of Pretoria.
Yes.
So it's a bit of a big deal, but a whole
and I guess this goes back to that debate of is it more shocking if you're prominent? But really, if you are that way, you are that way.
At the end of the day, because he has a history of violence.
Yeah, a track record.
Violent behavior.
When I was on the land.
When like when you come around with a new girl, we're like, should we tell her?
Oh shit.
You know what I mean?
Should we save her? In fact?
Girl, are you sure?
Let
her know.
Like, are you aware?
And if you think about it, like we're only hearing about Sipho because he's a prominent member of society or public figure of such. He can make the news. But how many people in this country, females, go into relationships with such men?
A lot, in fact, and how many people generally go into relationships without knowing? Even more, if we're talking on that point, how many of you as friends who know that you have certain friends who have these tendencies have ever spoken out to warn? These are just questions. We're not assaulting anybody's conscience here.
I'm glad you touched up.
But if you've got a friend or somebody you know who generally has this aggressive tendencies,
yes,
and has a way of changing into this person once the longer a relationship goes, have you ever found yourself in a position to either talk to that friend about that behavior or talking to the partner, like, hey, it's not like but dude, from my experience,
do you let it slide?
I've been in a situation like that. I mean, I'm not so close with that gent anymore, but a few years ago there was a situation where like, a very close friends of friends, that guy was in a relationship with this girl who was from Pretoria, right? She's not from here, you know.
Okay, so she's not a local, but she was living here.
So she doesn't know much about
who this person is.
Who this person really is. And like he didn't show it that he was abusing her, but I think
they usually don't.
You see bruises, you see bite marks and things like that. And
bite marks.
Eventually it came a point where we all saw it all at one time, and
it was like unacceptable.
It was unacceptable, and it had to be. Parents had to get involved. You know, it had to be mediated. And at one point, even cops were involved. And fortunately, she took the advice that I gave her personally. But I think you should go back home, Sissy, and be that side of life where your family can protect you and not be with this guy.
Sure.
It was quite a sticky situation because obviously he's your friend, but you can't protect him just because he's your friend. This is gender-based violence. What am I standing for? I've got a sister, I've got a mother, I've got female
There's
friends.
someone's life hanging in the balance.
Whew, okay. 26 after 9 as we continue moments in current affairs. We'll get back to some of these debates. The great debate coming up at 20 past 10 today. We'll open it up and get into some of it. Clearly, we've got a lot of talking to do as a nation. We can start it in studio and let the dialogue spread around the country. Why not? The South African Police Service, or Post Office, my bad, has announced it will no longer pay the 350 Rand social relief grant of distress grants through its branches. It says the move will help alleviate long queues at its branches, with many recipients of the grant having several options to collect the money. The Post Office has advised those who already reapplied for their social relief grant choose to collect it from any Pick and Pay, Boxer, ShopRite, or USave stores. It says the application of now allows beneficiaries to choose where they want to receive their money. This was a long time coming.
Yeah, that's
that
actually
took a
very
while.
great.
That took a while because I've seen it, and I don't like seeing a 65, 75-year-old woman sitting at outside of a post office at 3 a.m. because she definitely needs that service
And
today.
my question is, was it really because of the long queues or because of the spate of heists that have been going on with the post office?
It could be.
I was reading to kind of get a bit more of that, but I realized that the heisting community was cleaning up at post office, because as soon as you see the queue, you know
There's money.
There's racks there. I think
but also
it's both though. Like those queues.
Yeah, those queues
Like,
were
people
ridiculously
would,
long.
might leave without getting that 350, then have to come back again. And need to understand, La Mali, they need it just for the transport to actually get there and get their money. So
there was also talk of corruption happening, where the people at the post office would not assist you if you didn't leave $50 off that 350 for them. How, in good conscience, could you take?
we're exploiting each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're not doing this to one person. You see how big that queue is? You're doing it to everybody who comes in. So you leave with more money than any individual person came to come and collect. And you work there and you leave with a salary.
It's either greed or poverty promotes crime. I've always said that.
Well, you know,
It is definitely greed.
poverty and crime are related.
Most definitely so.
But in this case, that is just greed and opportunism, looking down and
Exploiting.
taking. And also, when you're looking at someone dead in the eye, you're like, dude, it's just $50 and you can get 300. Like, what's wrong with you?
The 50 Rand is a look.
like-
It's the
Like, you getting the lion's share.
no, it's my share. you can't trick me out of my share. Come on, guy.
But you see the kind of logic they use, and eventually you've been in the queue for what, 6-7 hours.
You just want to get
All
out.
you want to do is get out and go home, dude. Like you don't need much more, you know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You're just gonna give the 50 Rand, but you're gonna use that 50 Rand for transport, for a taxi.
That was
Understand?
actually
At that
The
stage.
50 Rand is a lot.
At that stage, and
Three
this is the
loaves of
mentality
bread.
that it's come to. At that stage, you're just like, you know what, whatever. Just give me what's coming to me.
that's what
I'll
they-
go. And that's the sad part. That's the heartbreaking part. Because that money is meant to go and really help someone. It's distress relief. That is not money. It's distress. You know what? You know what level of how hectic your life has got to be for you to be in distress. By definition,
Guys.
it's hectic. Anyway, moving right along. It's 9:30 right now. The Hawks and the National Prosecuting Authority remain tight-lipped about the investigation involving Eastern Cape Premier and re-elected ANC Eastern Cape Chairperson Oscar Mabuyane and Provincial MEC for Public Works Lubabalo Matigizela over missing funds meant to ferry mourners to struggle icon Winnie Matigizela's Mandela's memorial service. While Mabuyane and Matigizela were both vying for the position of Eastern Cape chairperson at the weekend, the two vowed to challenge the entire report in court. Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane made a damning finding in the report published on October last year that they irregularly benefited from 1.1 million rand tender meant for Madikizela Mandela's memorial service. She said Mabuyane had personally benefited to the tune of 450,000, and those funds were used to renovate his home. While Madikizela personally benefited to the tune of 350,000, those funds went into an FNB account for a private company owned by his wife and set out in evidence, read the report. The ANC has additionally benefited to the tune of 280,000 from the amount of 1.1 million, which were certainly public funds that went into the FNB fundraising account according to the report. Now, and I quote, "The financial benefits accrued to Mr. Mabuyane and Madikizela and the ANC raise a suspicion of commission of criminal conduct in terms of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act 121 of 1998, a commission of and combating of corrupt activity Act 12 of 2004. Accordingly, this aspect has been referred to the Directorate of Priority Crimes Investigation and Criminal Investigation." This is what the report read.
Leadership.
And just yesterday, ta-da! I'm back.
I come back.
Hey,
I'm not linking apples to oranges. I'm just putting it to you that this is where we are. This is where we are. Levels, my wedding. Levels.
Allegedly, most, This is allegedly.
Well, it's an open thing. It's an open case.
Still gonna go to court.
Yeah, and we haven't. We are stating the facts that are there currently.
But it's been years now, hasn't it?
Oh yes. I mean, Mandela passed one. What was that? 4 years ago.
It's been a while.
We don't forget the money. But are they the only ones connected to this tender?
Does it matter? Do they need to be more?
Okay, it doesn't. That's very true. I don't want to say anything.
Fiery.
But
yeah, where there's smoke,
there's fire.
And if it smells like it usually is.
Yeah.
If it barks like a dog.
What's your
looks
take
like
on
a
it?
dog.
My take, to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed that swifter action has not been taken, either to exonerate them or to prosecute. It can't be that difficult when you followed the money to then do your investigation.
They've been investigating for close to 5 years.
You followed the money. You know where the money end up. What are we waiting for? New evidence.
No, there's no need.
Come, guys, come. And this is not just about this particular case. This is just one that is fresh on the mind. There are many such cases. Where you follow the money and you see where it ended up. What are we waiting for?
It's like that case with the stands. The pavilion that was supposed to be built, I think, up as Lalini, and they just put wooden stands, and I think it was like
I did not see
10
that.
million.
Oh yeah.
And all they did.
What outside of Queenstown?
Yeah.
That 16 million.
It's stuff like that.
Listen.
That we hear about for like 3 days.
Oh no.
Listen.
Oh.
Okay, and then it's just put under the court.
Oh no, listen. It gets hectic. It gets.
Oh
That's
no.
16 million.
16M though, guys.
And then about 30, 50 rand with 350. I mean, really, chief.
So this is where now we have to start looking at where we do draw the line as a society, because is it us being quiet? Is it the law dragging its feet? What is the?
Maybe we need to stop protesting. I'm not saying that we should, but like maybe that's the only response leadership ever has, as protest. We need to get that angry. We couldn't protest 2 years ago because
Hey, we couldn't even walk down the street without.
You know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, because it was dangerous at the time.
Yes.
But
it was more dangerous running into the soldiers.
That's how it's controlled.
Yeah.
So what are we supposed to do? We have to be violent. We have to protest. We always have to fight for what's the country's taxpayers' money.
I hear you.
Where does it stop?
It's dangerous.
And they re-elect leaders.
Oh yeah, no. We've got a history of bringing back people that might still be needing to answer for certain things. But Tina, we're like, hey man, they don't need to answer to me.
As long as we could win. We need a revolution that where young
well, yes, I mean
are not gonna be corrupt once they're there. It's all about the person who's gonna take that stand and then grow, right?
we need better role models.
All right, we need to become role models.
Yes. A painting of Hollywood icon Marilyn Monroe has set the record for being the most expensive piece of American art ever sold after being purchased for a whopping $195 million, which is 3.1 billion rand at an auction.
Ooh.
Like that's somebody who dropped the bag.
Ooh.
According to the Wall Street Journal, the sale was done at a popular New York auction house, Christie's, on Monday, the 9th of May, 2022. It was done by legendary artist Andy Warhol in 1964. The painting, called Shot Sage Blue Marilyn, was one of 5 versions of the portrait Warhol painted 2 years after Marilyn Monroe's death, each with a different color scheme. The buyer has been identified as Larry Gagosian, a U.S. art dealer and owner of the chain of galleries. The proceeds of the sale will reportedly go to the Switzerland-based Thomas and Doris Amann Foundation in Zurich, which works with established healthcare and education programs for children around the world. Earlier this year, George Fry, the chairman of the board of Thomas and Doris Amann Foundation, said the painting, Marilyn, the woman is gone, the terrible circumstances of her life and death are forgotten. All that remains is the enigmatic smile that links her to another mysterious smile of a distinguished lady, the Mona Lisa. Previously, New York artist Jean-Michel Basquiat's 1982 skull painting had been considered the priciest piece of art sold after fetching a staggering $110 million at an auction also. Jay-Z was linked with that purchase.
Yeah, I remember that.
Labels. Labels.
He even raps about the art, so.
Well,
he's always been a person with that.
Well, he's you know,
stature.
He's
got expensive taste.
When you linked
taste.
expensive taste and expensive habits,
and
clearly.
It's funny how Andrew Warhol and Jean-Michel are linked as well as those two artists. I don't know if you've watched the Netflix docu.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That was certainly a good link to make, but also an error that will be hard to ever duplicate. Of those guys. I wonder if art that is done today by the likes of the people who are artists today is being appreciated as much, or are we looking backwards to add value to art? What do you think?
I think time will tell.
Does your art have to be old?
No, well, time will tell, because you'll purchase something, like, you know how art is.
I mean, your art will eventually be old.
In 10 years.
But is that what makes it valuable? That's my question. Is that what makes it...
The more like scarce it is, I think it makes it valuable. If there's only 5 pieces and they're already sold,
and people
come
really
back
like
in 20 years
exclusivity.
and we speak about it as the moment in pop culture, that this was such a moment. This was what was happening politically in the world, the country.
Oh, it also reminds me of was it a painting of Jacob Zuma with his member?
Oh, that guy's paintings. Yes. What happened?
I forgot his name.
That's gonna be
like, that will be
maybe even no Rasta's paintings.
I think Rasta's
Rasta
paintings are also going to be.
Rasta's gonna have a whole gallery one day, and he's gonna buy back his paintings.
I believe Rasta can paint properly, guys.
But then
he's just trolling us.
I think so too.
That guy is just trolling us.
I've seen him break character and paint properly.
Nah.
And then he's like, oh no, I showed them. Oh snap! Now let me paint a really ugly one.
Because he makes headlines when he doesn't,
Yeah,
when it's like it doesn't look like the person it is, which is, that's when he trends, and then he's on the news and everything. When he paints properly, it's like, oh my God, he can paint
but he
properly.
can paint.
And then tomorrow we over.
Oh, Russ.
Oh,
Listen, 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes before 10. The end of Moments in Current Affairs. As we continue, the great debate coming up at 20 past, but there's a lot more in and between. What are some of the things we're going to be discussing today, guys?
Well,
You just have to stay tuned.
we're gonna have.
What is it? A
rumor
big
report.
secret?
It's a
Rumor.
huge secret.
We don't want to
Okay.
speak about it right now.
Rumor has it.
Rumor
Rumor
has
has
it.
We're social. Check us out on Facebook.